Now, in case of gas, the solubility in liquid solvent decreases with increase in temperature. But when we study the effect of pressure, here the gases, they are compressible, and therefore here the solubility of gases increases with increase in pressure. Here this effect of pressure on the solubility of gas in liquid, it was studied by Henry's law, the name of the scientist. Now what is the statement of Henry's law? Next, the Henry's law states that solubility of gas in a liquid solvent is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas over the solution. So mathematically we can write S, that is the solubility in mole per liter. It is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas over the solution. Now remove this proportionality sign so that it becomes solubility S is equal to KH into P, where KH is known as Henry's law's constant. Now solubility S, it is expressed in mole per liter. Pressure of the gas, that is the partial pressure in bar. KH is the proportionality constant, that is the Henry's law constant. Here, to find out the unit of KH, the mathematical equation, we can write it as KH is equal to S upon P, mole per liter per bar. Now how it came? Here solubility S, it is in mole per liter, pressure in bar, and therefore this unit becomes mole per liter per bar. Now if we substitute the value of P of the gas, that is the pressure of the gas, as a 1 bar, the Henry's law constant becomes equal to S, that is solubility. Thus from this equation we can define this Henry's law constant as it is nothing but solubility of a gas in liquid solvent when its pressure over the solution is 1 bar. Followed? Now exception to this law. Now the gases like ammonia, CO2, they do not obey this law because they react with water. Now ammonia on reaction with water gives NH4OH, that is NH4 plus OH minus. CO2 on reaction with water gives carbonic acid. And due to these reactions, they have higher solubility in water as compared to solubility which is expected by the Henry's law. Again, another example, the oxygen has less solubility, but in blood it has higher solubility, which is due to the binding of the oxygen with the hemoglobin which is present in the blood. So reaction is Hb plus 4O2 is equal to HbO2 4. Next, the common observation you can observe in your daily life, a bottle of soft drink. Here, just I explained the Henry's law. Here the solubility of gas in a liquid solvent is directly proportional to the partial pressure of gas over the solution. Here in this soft drink bottle, when the bottle is sealed, before sealing, it is pressurized with the mixture of air and CO2 with water vapor. So when bottle is closed, the liquid is under high pressure. So when the pressure is applied under high pressure, the maximum amount of CO2 is dissolved in this liquid. But when the bottle is open, you can see this figure. When the cap on the bottle, it is open, what is the observation? Here the maximum amount of CO2 which is dissolved, this excess CO2 which is dissolved under the high pressure, it comes out in the form of effervescence. In another words, you can say that the solubility of CO2 decreases because we are releasing the pressure when the bottle is open. And therefore, as the pressure is decreased, here the solubility get decreased. And therefore, the excess amount of CO2 which is dissolved under high pressure, it comes out in the form of effervescence that you can observe in your daily life. Followed. Now we see the Henry's law numerical, which is based on this law. Here the numerical, that is Henry's law constant for methyl bromide is given, which is 0.159 mole per liter at 25 degrees Celsius. What is the solubility of methyl bromide in water at 25 degrees Celsius and at pressure of 130 mm mercury? Now, before solving the example, you have to read the numerical very carefully. What is given? Now, the data given, it is for methyl bromide, Henry's law constant is given, which is 0.159 mole per liter per bar. The pressure P, it is 130 millimeter mercury. Now in the relation, solubility is equal to Kh into P. The pressure must be in a bar, and therefore we have to convert this pressure into bar by using relations. Now 1 atmospheric pressure is equal to 760 mm, that you are well known. So divide this 130 by 760. This pressure get converted into atmosphere. Again convert this atmosphere into bar by multiplying this atmospheric pressure, atmosphere, by the factor 1.013, because 1 atmosphere is equal to 1.013 bar, and therefore this multiplication becomes 0.173 bar. So you can solve with the help of logarithm, because in the board exam you are allowed to use the logarithmic table. So simple calculations are there in the numerical. Here, according to Henry's law, what is the mathematical formula? Solubility S in mole per liter equal to Henry's law constant into the pressure, which is in the bar. So put this value of pressure in the bar. Now it is 0.173 bar. So after substituting these values of Henry's law constant and the pressure, this multiplication becomes 0.271 mole per liter, or simply the solubility is 0.271 molar. Followed. Next. Now, after studying the effect of pressure on the solubility of gas in a liquid solvent and Henry's law, next concept, that is the vapor pressure of solution of liquids in liquids, means both components are liquids. Now, concept of vapor pressure that you have already studied in 11th standard. What is vapor pressure? The pressure applied by the vapors of liquid on its surface at equilibrium is called as a vapor pressure. For example, you can see these three figures. Here in the first closed container, the water is taken. Now water evaporates. So these are the molecules which are undergoing the vaporization. Now initially the rate of vaporization is higher. Here the molecules, water molecules, they get converted into the vapor molecules, which are shown by the brown color. You can see this in a figure B. Now these molecules which are in the vapor state, they behave like a gas molecules. Means they bombard on the wall of container as well as they bombard with each other or surface of liquid. So due to the bombardment, their kinetic energy decreases and they return into the liquid state. Now the process of conversion of vapor molecules in the vapor state into the liquid state, that is the condensation. So at the beginning, the rate of evaporation is higher, whereas rate of condensation is low. But next, that is the rate of evaporation and rate of condensation in the third figure. You can observe here, when both rates become equal, that is the equilibrium. At this equilibrium, these vapor molecules which are in the space above the surface of liquid in the closed container, they exert the pressure on the surface of liquid, and this pressure which is created or which is applied by the vapors of liquid on its surface at the equilibrium is nothing but the vapor pressure. Followed? Is it clear? Now, volatile and non-volatile liquids. Now, to understand the meaning of volatile and non-volatile liquids, it is necessary to understand the remaining concepts in this chapter. You are familiar with the word volatile. What is volatile liquid? The volatile liquid means liquid which can easily vaporize under the normal conditions. Non-volatile liquids which cannot easily vaporize under normal conditions. Now, volatile liquids, they can easily vaporize under normal conditions because the intermolecular force of attractions are weak. Whereas in case of non-volatile liquid, they cannot easily vaporize as they have strong intermolecular forces of attraction. Now, what is the relation between vapor pressure and the boiling point? Here, the volatile liquids, as the rate of vaporization is higher, they create the high vapor pressure. They can easily vaporize under the normal temperature and pressure. And therefore, here the higher vapor pressure, such liquids boil at low temperature, means they have low boiling point. Is it clear to you? Now consider the binary solution. In the first lecture, we have studied the definition of binary solution. So bi means two. Binary solution means it contains two components. Now consider the binary solution in which two volatile liquids are there, A1 and A2, in a closed container. Now both liquids will vaporize as they are volatile. Now the equilibrium exists between the liquid and its vapor phase. Now the vapor pressures of the two components are their partial vapor pressures. Now the relation between the partial vapor pressure of the two volatile components and their mole fraction, it is given by the Raoult's law. So what is Raoult's law? It states that the partial vapor pressure of any volatile component here of the solution is equal to vapor pressure of the pure component multiplied by its mole fraction in the solution. See again, Raoult's law, the statement, the partial vapor pressure means individual pressure. Partial vapor pressure, the meaning is individual pressure of that component. Partial vapor pressure of any volatile component of a solution is equal to the vapor pressure of pure component multiplied by its mole fraction in the solution. Now, what is mole fraction? That was also studied in the second chapter in 11th standard. Mole fraction of any component, it is the ratio of number of moles of that component to the total number of moles of all the components present in the solution. Now here the binary solution, it contains two volatile components A1 and A2. P1 and P2, they are their partial vapor pressures, and X1, X2, they are their mole fractions respectively. Now, according to Raoult's law, according to statement, here we can write the partial vapor pressure of the volatile component A1, first component. It is given by P1 is equal to this product, that is vapor pressure of pure component and its mole fraction. Again, for the second volatile component A2, partial vapor pressure P2 is equal to X2 into P02, where P01 and P02, these are the vapor pressures of pure liquids A1 and A2 respectively. So that is according to Raoult's law. Now, according to Dalton's law of partial pressures, the total vapor pressure above the solution, it is given by the sum of partial vapor pressures of the two components. And therefore, here the total pressure P, it is equal to the sum of partial vapor pressure of both the components, that is P1 plus P2. Now, according to Raoult's law, here from equation 1, put the values of P1 and P2 in this equation. So it becomes P1 equal to X1 into P01 plus X2 P02. After substituting the values in this equation, here X1 is equal to 1 minus X2. Now how it becomes? Because the sum of mole fraction of all the components in the solution is always unity. That is, X1 plus X2 is equal to 1. So value of X1 becomes 1 minus X2. So put this value of X1, mole fraction of first component, in this above equation. It becomes total vapor pressure P is equal to P01 into 1 minus X2 plus X2 P02. Now simplify this. It becomes P01 minus P01 X2 after solving this bracket plus P02 X2. Here X2 is common. So take this X2 as a common outside the bracket. Inside the bracket, what is remaining? P02 minus P01 plus this P01. So total vapor pressure, it is equal to the P02 minus P01 into X2 plus P01. Followed? As P01 and P02 are the constants, a plot of vapor pressure versus mole fraction of solute, it is as shown in the figure. We see in the next slide. Here, now this is the plot of vapor pressure versus mole fraction of solute. Here, mole fraction of solute, that is X2, mole fraction of solvent X1. Now we know that X1 plus X2, that is sum of mole fraction, is 1. So as P01 and P02 are the constants, a plot of vapor pressure versus mole fraction, you can observe it is like this. Now here 3 lines are there. See, first for P1 versus X1, what is P1? It is the partial vapor pressure of the first component. X1, that is the mole fraction of first component, that is solvent. Now for this straight line, here observe, this is the P1 versus X1. Now here X2, here it is shown in this direction, mole fraction of solute. So here X2 is equal to 0 at this point. When X2 is 0, what is the value of X1? It should be 1 because sum should be 1. When X2 is equal to 1 at this point, X1 becomes 0. So for P1 versus X1 straight line, this straight line, here the value when X1 is equal to 0, here X1 is equal to 0, what is the value of P1? it is also 0. And when x1 is equal to 1, what is the value of partial vapor pressure of the solvent P1? It becomes equal to P10. Is it clear? Similar to P1, second plot, that is the P2. For P2 versus X2, that is mole fraction of solute. Now for this second graph, here, when P2 versus mole fraction of solute, that is X2, here again, when X2 is 0, that is this point. What is the value of P2, partial vapor pressure of solute? It is also 0. When X2 is equal to 1, what is the value of P2? Here this P2 becomes equal to P20. Again for third, for vapor pressure versus X2, that is the mole fraction of solute, straight line. Now for this straight line, at X2 equal to 0, see X2 equal to 0 means this point. Here the total vapor pressure P becomes equal to P1 naught. And at X2 equal to 1, that is this point. What is the value of P naught 2? Here the total vapor pressure, it becomes P naught 2. Follow? See again, 3 graphs, very simple. Here the first P1 versus X1. Here you can understand this scale, that is on x-axis, the mole fraction of solute is taken, X2, and therefore the value of X2 is 0 here, and the value of X2 is 1 here. So exactly reverse. For solvent, when X2 is 0, X1 must be 1. And when X2 is 1, X1 must be 0. So you can explain these 3 graphs. Okay, is it clear? Next, now composition of vapor phase. The composition of vapor in equilibrium with the solution. It can be determined by using Dalton's law of partial pressure. Suppose if we take the Y1 and Y2 as a mole fraction of components in the vapor phase, then we can write P1, partial pressure, vapor pressure of first component, equal to Y1 into P. Similarly, P2 is equal to Y2 into P, where P is the total vapor pressure. Y1, Y2, these are the mole fraction of the components in the vapor phase. Remember well. P1 and P2 are the partial pressures of both the components. Now, how to calculate this composition of vapor phase? It can be well understood by taking the numerical. See the numerical. Vapor pressures of pure liquids A and B are 450 mm mercury and 700 mm mercury respectively at 350 Kelvin. Find the composition of liquid and vapor if the total vapor pressure is 600 mm mercury. Now the data given is P01 equal to 450 mm mercury, P02 equal to 700 mm mercury, and P is equal to 600 mm mercury. And we have to find out the composition of liquid and vapor. So to calculate this, here composition of component A and B in liquid, that is we have to find out the value of X1 and X2. Now composition of both the components in vapor phase, we have to find out the values of Y1 and Y2. Now according to Raoult's law, just we explain this mathematical equation. The total vapor pressure is equal to P02 minus P01 multiplied by total bracket multiplied by X2 plus P01. Here partial vapor pressure of first component, it is given by this product. P01, that is the vapor pressure of pure component. So here X1 mole fraction of that component, Similarly, for P2 equal to X2 into P0. That is according to Raoult's law. Now for composition of components in vapor phase, here P1 partial vapor pressure is equal to Y1 into P, where P is the total pressure. P2 is equal to Y2 into P. So here we have to calculate the values of X1, X2 as well as Y1, Y2. Now first we calculate the composition of component A and B in liquid. That is P is equal to this equation P02 minus P01 bracket X2 plus P01. To put these values, the total pressure given in the numerical, it is equal to 600 mm. What is the value of P02? It is 700 minus P01. It is also given 450 mm into bracket into X2 plus P01 450. Now simplify this. It becomes 250 X2 plus 450. So after simplifying, this value of X2 becomes 0.6. So simple calculation, mole fraction of second component, it becomes 0.6. Now here, if the value of X2 is known, it is easy to calculate the value of X1 because X1 plus X2, it is equal to 1. So X1 becomes equal to 1 minus X2, and that becomes 1 minus 0.6, that is 0.4. So this is the composition of component A and B in a liquid state. Now second, we have to find out the composition of both the components in a vapor phase. So what is the formula? Here the P1 is equal to Y1 into P. Y1 becomes equal to P1 upon total pressure. Again, the P1 is nothing but X1 into P01. So here, put the value of P1 upon P. P1 means again X1 into P01. So X1 0.4, P01 450. So this value is given in the numerical. P, that is the total pressure, 600 millimeter. So after calculating this product and multiplication and division, it gives the final answer 0.3. So you can solve this either by log table or any other method. Here it is a simple calculation. So Y1 becomes equal to 0.3. So how will you calculate the value of Y2? Again the same, that is Y1 plus Y2 is equal to 1. So Y2 becomes equal to 1 minus Y1. So 1 minus 0.3. So it becomes 0.7. So what are the results of this numerical? Answer, composition of A and B in liquid is equal to, for first component 0.4 and for second it is 0.6. Similarly, composition of A and B in a vapor state, Y1 0.3 and Y2 is equal to 0.7.